Hi everybody, Mr. A here with you. Today we are looking at the range and interquartile range. Now we need to know a couple of definitions and a couple of new words in this chapter or topic. First of all, the range and interquartile range, or IQR for short, measure how spread out the data is, or how varied it is. So you can take a couple of measurements from a soccer match or cricket match or anything else, and you can see how spread out they are. This is what they tell you. If we start off with range, this is probably the easiest one to work out. It's the difference between the biggest number and the smallest number. So our formula here, highlighted in yellow, range equals the biggest number minus the smallest number, and you have those numbers given to you in the question as the data. From there it gets a little bit trickier. We have our upper quartile, or QU for short, U for upper, Q for quartile. This is our 75th percentile, or 75% on a percentage cumulative frequency graph. So the graphs that we've learned how to do, if you find 75% on that graph, you have found the upper quartile. It's also called Q3. Now, if you don't have a percentage cumulative frequency graph, there is a formula you can use to work out QU. And the formula, if I can just fit it in here, is 3n plus 1 divided by 4. Okay, so remembering n is the total number of results that you have. You plug those numbers in, 3 times n plus 1 divided by 4, and it gives you QU, or your upper quartile. Okay, that's a little shortcut way to do it. Next up we have the lower quartile, or QL for short. This is the 25th percentile, or again 25% on a percentage cumulative frequency graph, and it's also called Q1. Now there is a formula for this as well, and to find the lower quartile we can simply do n plus 1 divided by 4, and that gives us QL. So again, you can work that out without actually drawing the graph, which can take a little bit of time. And of course the last one there is the median, and we know the median, we've spoken about it before. It's the 50th percentile, or halfway in a data set, and we know the formula is n plus 1 divided by 2. That's our formula for median there, and we've worked that out before. Now quickly, the IQR, or interquartile range, is the difference between the upper quartile and the lower quartile, and there's our formula. We can use that to work out anything we'd like. So let's have a look at what all that means on a graph. So if we have our cumulative frequency, or percentage cumulative frequency, that should be on the y-axis there, and our score going along on the bottom, you can see that 75%, if we draw a line going across until we hit our graph line and then down, wherever you land, let me grab a pen, so wherever you land there, that is your upper quartile, or Q3. Alright, 50%, because 50% is half, or halfway. If we draw a line and go down, that is also our median, so we can put median in there, Q2. And Q1 being 25%, if we draw a line across until we hit our graph and down, wherever we land there, that's our QL, or lower quartile, sorry. So that's what it should look like on a graph. Now let's have a look at a quick worked example to use this and to find all this from a set of data. Now the question itself says find the lower quartile from the following set of raw data. So let's bring up the raw data and have a look at what we need to do. Okay, so there's our data. This is collected from, it could be anything, whatever, a sports match, or results in a test, or height, or anything like that. That's our raw data. So these are individual data points. Okay, let's pretend they are heights of somebody. Let's have a look at how we find the lower quartile. Got the steps written down. Number 1, you have to put the data in order from smallest to largest. This is very, very, very important. If you do not do this, you'll get everything wrong, and you've just wasted your time and you have to start again. So you put the data in order from smallest to largest, and it looks something like that in this table down the bottom here. You can see 174 is the smallest number that we have in our raw data, and it goes all the way up until 193, and there are 3 different 193s. Okay, so you put them in order. Next up, we need to find the median, and we've done this before, so we're going to fly through it. We all know that median is equal to n plus 1 divided by 2. We've plugged in the numbers. We have 10 different scores, and we get a median of 5.5 or 5.5 score. And when we work that out, we get a median of 188.5. So that means that our median lies right in between these two numbers here. Okay, so that's our median. Right in there, 188.5 is the median. So now we only look at the bottom half of the data. So that means that from the median, which is here, this red line, to the left, let me draw this on here, that's where we look to find our QL. Just like that. So what do? There's our data. We have our data points there. We start from 174 up to 188, and we include this 188 in our data. And to find the lower quartile, we simply find the median again. So just of this particular set that we have. So median, when we work it out, is 177. You can do n plus 1 divided by 2. It's up to you. You can also use the lower quartile formula that we talked about before. You'll get the same answer. So the lower quartile is 177. So that's our lower quartile there. And if we go back to the data that was in order up here, let's bring up a pen, this will be our QL. Okay, so we find the median, and then we only focus on the bottom half of the data and find the median of that, and we find out that's our QL. Now we can do, if we go down to our next dot point, we can do the same thing to find the upper quartile, except that we look at the top half of our data and find the upper quartile. So going back up here, if I bring up a pen, from this point to the right, we use to find QU, or the upper quartile. Okay, and we can quickly do that and see what number from here to the end is right in the middle, and we can see that 193 is in fact in the middle. So 193 would be our upper quartile, or our 75th percentile. So let's put that in as well, because that's important. This is our 75th percentile. Alright, QL is our 25th percentile. Okay, so if you have any questions, please let me know. I hope this has helped a little bit, and until next time, see you later.